Aston Villa are currently sitting just outside the top 6 in the Premier League, but today we're shaking things up with the ultimate rebuild and we're giving it a youthful twist. We're only bringing in Wonderkids, players aged 21 or younger. The only exception, if they are at Villa before turning 21, then they can be just a little bit over the age cap. With a 5-season limit, how far can this young squad take us? Let's go and find out. So then, that is right, this is going to be Villa inside of the game. Now, they are already a massive team, I am aware. Not the best this season compared to their usual best, but I will say we are going to have a big twist today. Now, the first twist is going to be the fact that you're going to see a lot of your favourite players being stripped from the team, because we've got a big challenge of only using Wonderkid and young players. Now, as a team, they have got great training. In fact, flawless training, great youth facilities, great youth recruitment, and a decent reputation. Now, as a team, they have won quite a fair few trophies. A Champions League, 7 Premier League titles, a Super Cup, 7 FA Cups. They've been about the block a little bit. They know what they're doing. But this is the Villa team you see now. Now, what I've done is I've gone over and released every player that was ineligible to play, and I have calculated all of their minimum values, put it into a transfer budget, and we have now gone out and signed players with that budget. Now, luckily, some Villa players can stay. So, for example, the likes of Duran is a player that we can actually use. He's 20 years of age, and hopefully he's going to be the face of this rebuild. Another player we can use is going to be Morgan Rogers, because he is bang on 21. Of course, other players in the team as well, but what I will go over and say is, as you can see, we have built quite the powerhouse 11 in terms of a Wonderkid team. Now, when I say powerhouse, we're not expecting to win anything in the first couple of years, because these players need to become the best they can be. But I mean, in terms of our team, we've got the likes of Arizo, a great player here, who at the end of the day might not be the best striker ever, but for now, will do completely fine. And on the bench, we've got Makoko and we have got Tell. Tell is incredible because he can be a great backup striker or first team, and Makoko also has come in and he can be a great player. Now, I will say the midfield I am buzzing about, because we can actually go over and use Onana, because I believe he was 21 when they actually signed him. Kobe Mainoo, obviously a brand new addition. I paid a total of 59 million for Manchester United. A great player, great talent. Ramsey, again, a player we can use. He's been at the club since 2017, so he can be definitely at the club. Buzzing we can use him. Livramento, we can definitely pick him up at the age of 21. He come in for 32 million. Silva and Diamande and Udogie and Livramento as a back four. Are you mental? That is an incredible back line. You have then got the likes of Verbruggen, a great goalkeeper with tons of potential, and the likes of Lavia and Lewis Hall are going to be on the bench. Now, we are pretty much spent up. In fact, we are very spent up to the point of 1.3 million, but if I go into the transfers right now, you can see the fees we paid for these players. We simply just spent the money we had by basically calculating. So if you go to the squad right here, I'll show you what I've done. You can click this right here. I added up all of the minimum values from all the players that we released and then put it into my transfer budget. It just saves me a bit of time, and it's the same outcome anyway. And also, it's quite cool. Instead of sending them to the Saudi League, we might see some of our old players against us, which is quite nice. But I tell you what, this team I am semi-confident in. Even though it's season 1, I am feeling it. Now, we are playing in 4 competitions. That includes the Champions League, so it's not going to be an easy start, and they are predicting a finish of 10th place for us. Now, realistically, this team, this tactic, I have gone with a narrow system. I honestly think we can finish inside the top 8. Top 6. Scrap top 8, top 6. Let's make it happen. If you do enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And at any point you want this tactic or this rebuild, head on over to the Patreon and join the other 5,000 people. We've got a massive cash giveaway coming up soon. You want to be part of it, trust me, I'll see you over there. Let's go over and load in Season 1. So before we get into the results, I want to also showcase that we've already spent some of the money we've got from this season on agreeing a deal with Xavi Simons. Welcome into Xavi Simons, because that is one big player to bring in. Let's go and see how we done in our first season. We're going to start with an FA Cup final against Liverpool. Not a small team to play at all. And Ramsey is running at the entire back line, and it's would have been a penalty, but a great goal there from Rodgers to make it 1-0 inside of 29 minutes. And this final is done and dusted in 31 minutes. We are going to take the advantage by 2-0, and that is going to be the end scoreline, and it is going to be Duran Beautiful. Champions League, I don't mind for a first season. We are going to go against RB Leipzig, a team that maybe we should be beating with this incredible Wonderkid team. But for the first season, I'm not going to be too judgmental, especially when we're finishing in the top 4. So we've got Champions League football again. We've got 2 players in Tell and Duran. That is very good to see them two playing well together up front. Tell picked up the second most player of the matches as well. In terms of assists, Livramento is going to be 3rd place, which is good to see. Verbruggen also shares joint 2nd with Raya and Edison, so keeping quite good company there. But in terms of the first season, I'll take top 4. They were predicting, what, 10th? So we've gone up by 6 places compared to the prediction. Now, in terms of what I expect for the next season in the Premier League, I'm honestly going to say top 4 again, because we're going to be in the Champions League again. We're going to be playing in some pretty big competitions. I'm expecting 2 or 3 seasons of just a top 4 battle. So, do you know what? So far, so good. And I'm not just going to miss the fact, we also got to a Carabao Cup final against Tottenham Hotspur. So again, not an easy team to play, but if you want to face any team in a final, it would be Tottenham, because they bought on a lot of them. Now, I will say, it's a great start there from Rodgers inside of 22 minutes. We're then going to go and get a 2-0 lead inside of 50 minutes. A great header there from Diamande, but this is where the game got a little bit interesting, because Tottenham allowed me to go and score. They let me score a 3rd goal. Now, Tottenham, I don't know what they're up to here, but it's like they're doing some sort of humiliation ritual, because they just love to be battered until this point of the game, because they finally got their heads together. Because this is the 86th minute now. The first bit of positive play they've done. It's a great goal from Johnson, and it wasn't actually their only goal. They are going to go inside of pretty much the last kick of the game. It's going to be awful from Onana there. Son just runs through Diamande nearly there. A good little 1-2. Buendia, 3-2 it ends. Tottenham, way too late to show up. Meaning we have won 2 trophies in our first season, both of the English Cups. Now, of course, that is great, but the idea here is to try and win the big tournaments, the Premier League and the Champions League. Now, I will say, in terms of a first season, if you would have said to me, Josh, you can have both English Cups and a top 4 finish, would you take it? I'd have made the decision in a split second. So I'm going to be very happy with what we've done so far. In terms of how the players have done, let's go and look at it right now. By the way, in the comments, let me know, do you prefer to look at the player stats in this screen or the squad screen? I quite like it on this screen, because you can actually see where they're playing as well. So Livramento with 24 assists, Udogie with 12, 11 and 16 for Ramsey here. We've got Lavia, he done okay. I mean, he don't break, no, he didn't do okay. I mean, Onana probably played a fair few of the games, didn't he? Let's be fair. Onana probably played a few of the games, to be honest with you. Mainu 8 and 15, 30 and 16 for Rodgers. Tell 43 and 17, 33 and 18. Tell was brought in, as I said, a backup player. Forget backup player. This guy's a starting striker. Absolutely incredible from him. Arizo 9 and 6, Makoko 4 and 3, and obviously we did rely on a load of these sort of grayed out players to fit in when they need to do so. But I mean, realistically, we're 1 season in, we've got a beautiful green link from Ramsey to Mainu, and this lovely link between this front 3. Now, we're scoring over 100 goals between this front 3, which is absolutely remarkable in Season 1. The link-up is incredible. Now, this tactic is very much designed to overlap with the fullbacks, you know, feed this sort of front 3, so it's going to work very well. But in terms of the next season, we've got a budget of £89 million to go and improve, and as you can see, despite having a decent team, we are missing a serious amount of depth. So let's go over now and spend this money, and maybe aim to bring in bench players. Usually I look to bring in first team, then the first team players now drop to the bench, but maybe for this season, maybe it's a very rare occurrence of quantity over quality, potentially. Let's go and have a little look. So first up, obviously this signing was done and dusted anyway. It is going to be Xavi Simons. He comes in and gets 15 goals and 3 assists. I never really doubted someone like him, because I know how good he can be as a player, and at the end of the day, you pay for what you get, and he is one of the better young players in world football. Another player I'm going to bring in is going to be Christian Mosquera. He comes in from Valencia for 33 million. He plays a ton of games and drops above a 7 rating. With this guy, he's still only 21, which is obviously very good for the video. And I tell you what as well, when you look at the acceleration, the pace, the strength, everything, he is such a great player to bring into this team. And honestly, will strengthen up the back line tenfold. Next up is going to be Arne Engels. He is going to come in from Celtic for a total of 13 million. He plays a ton of games and picks up 8 assists and drops a 7 average rating. Now, this guy was brought in mainly because he is just incredibly versatile, okay? Like, this guy genuinely can play in so many positions, and he is still fairly young. So, I tell you what, as a squad player, I'm going to label him as, it's a good pickup. Next up is going to be Alberto Malero. He is going to come in from Las Palmas for a total of 27 million and doesn't play a single game. And do you know what? I am surprised because although we've got Xavi Simons, I thought he would have got a game somewhere in the mix, and hopefully he does because he is a great player. Speaking of Xavi Simons, I will say it says he is 23. Now, I signed him the season before last, so if I have pushed over by a little bit, he would have just touched 22. And if I did do that, I am genuinely sorry, but all I use to pick up these players is scouting, either players in range, and then go here and obviously go age 21, etc, etc. And he was there, so I don't know how that would have happened unless they're bugged, but I'm going to keep him because I think I am okay. But I do apologise if I went slightly over. But he is in the team now, the job's been done. We also got a little sneak glimpse there of our transfer budget for the next season. I think I saw 250 mil, but how did we do in this season? I'm going to start off winning on penalties in the Community Shield against Man City. That's more like it. Carabao Cup, we're going to bail out in the quarters against Leicester. Really? So this is going to be the best FA Cup final you are ever going to see on any YouTube channel. Genuinely, it is nuts. Arsenal get off to a great start, to be fair, with Gabby Jesus. Now, you're not seeing double when you see what happens next, okay? Because it is going to be Tell stepping up in the 46th minute to make it 1-1, and literally just after half-time, well, it's just after, 70 minutes in, he scores another penalty to make it 2-1. This should have been the game done, but unluckily, and a bit of a bottle job from us here, we allow Arsenal a ton of space, and it's poor there from Mascara, and Thuram is going to tie it up 2-2. Now into extra time, where we are going to see Saliba with a very rare mistake, or really, Malero there with the mistake. Arizo goes through, dribbles past 2 to make it 3-2 in the 105th minute, and this is where things got a little bit crazy, because we're playing some sublime stuff, by the way, playing out from the back with Silva, into Simmons, into Rodgers, into Ramsey. It's elegance, and oh, the keeper there not having a great time. At that point, it went to 4-2, and I think Arsenal had one of the biggest meltdowns I have seen in my lifetime. Diomande pushed very high up, playing at right back today, ball in into Onana to make it 5-2, and at this point I thought, yeah, Arsenal now, come on, just have a bit of pride about you, you know, just don't concede anymore. But Lewis Hall, playing at left back today, a ball over the top into Rodgers, zips it inside into Simmons to make it 6-2. And at this point, I was like, okay, come on, jokes aside. No, not jokes aside. We're then going to go with Onana, plays it out wide into Lewis Hall, first time ball back to him, into Onana, into Rodgers. We win 7-2. A 7-2 final. A 7-2 final. Are you mental? 5 goals in extra time and a third place finish in the Premier League. Now, I don't know what happened last year. Now, if anyone knows this, I think I'm having a bit of a blonde moment, even though I'm not blonde. But I will say, I don't know what happened last year because I got top 4 and didn't get Champions League. Now, I don't know why. If anyone can tell me, please let me know, because I thought I had Champions League this year, but I didn't quite clearly. But we have got it this year, officially, or next year we have, and therefore that probably sort of understands why we've got so much money to spend now. But realistically, that is a great season. We have won the FA Cup, the Community Shield, and improved in the Premier League. The Carabao Cup we've already won once. It's not that deep really anymore. So for me, we can build on this quite a fair bit. And we plan to. We've got £251 million to go and spend, which is a big cash flow. But going over to the squad then, we are seeing some really cool stuff right now. We are seeing 17 assists from Livramento, Mascara 4 goals, Silva 4 goals, 14 assists from Udogie, Simmons with 9, 20 goals as well, by the way. What a season for him, playing in box-to-box. Kobbie Mainoo 8 and 8, not playing to the best of his ability, I will say. 6 and 4 for Rodgers, 38 and 5 from Tell, and 21 and 7 from Duran. We've also got 5 assists from Diamande. He played a lot at right back, I will say. 9 and 3 from Arizo. Lewis Hall 3 and 4. 7 and 8 from Ramsey. 3 and 11 from Engels. I think that's how you say that, Engels. I don't want to butcher it too much. But realistically, we've got to thank the fullbacks because they're doing a great job. These two up front are serious strikers. And I tell you what, with 251 million, it wouldn't surprise me if we can push to win the Prem next year. And I'm saying that with full confidence. We're only 7 points off. £250 million. We're talking minimum 6 players. I honestly think we can win the Prem next year. Let's go and find out. Let's scrap the 6 silence because I've gone with more quality, and we're going to start off with Arda Güler. He comes in for 72 million, but oh boy, does he return. 7.15, 16 goals, 7 assists as well, and this man is an absolute monster. Can you just take a second to look at the technical, look at the mental? This guy is literally a world-class midfield player, and honestly, our attacking midfield lineup might be the best football's ever seen right now. We then also got to sign a player who's not having the best time in real life at the moment, but he's got a lot of ability. And to be fair to him, he's playing right back, centre back, all over the gaff for Tottenham. For us, he's going to be a backup right back. I'm going to make sure he knows that he's being trained to be a backup right back. He comes in for 68 million and plays a lot of games, so that tells me he's playing right back a fair bit, or maybe he is pushing himself into midfield. But I like Archie Gray a lot. He's English, good for the league as well, and he's also just only turning 21. So do you know what? Welcome in Archie Gray. Despite the ridiculous price tag, it's fair game. Last off, we are going to pick up João, I believe that's how you say that, coming in from Leverkusen. He comes in for £12 million. He plays a ton of games and drops a great rating. Now, this guy offers just a nice balanced approach. He's reasonably quick, he's got good tackling, and just a pretty solid centre-back. Not the biggest name in the world, but he should get the job done. And looking back at the players we have brought in this window, so Güler, Gray, and this lad right here, I honestly think that could be enough to win the Prem. I'm quite confident in saying we've won the Prem. Let's go and see. Do you know when they say self-confidence can be the biggest curse? Well, it might be the biggest curse because we've not won the Prem. We've finished inside of 3rd place again, which I don't hate because I did actually say at the start it's going to take 3 seasons of just being in the top 4. But I honestly thought we had enough firepower. Now, I will say in terms of the players we've brought in, they're playing to a very good degree. So Duran, Udogie, Xavi Simons, all taking up the average rating slots really, apart from Haaland. We've got John Duran there with 8 player of the matches, Xavi Simons there with 11 assists, joint first, Duran and Tell in the top goal scorers, Verbruggen 16 clean sheets. The players are doing it very, very well, but we just can't quite eliminate. We need to eliminate some of the draws, I think. There's a couple of 0-0s in there against teams that we should be beating, like Palace, like Brentford. We shouldn't be drawing against Everton. So we can iron them out a little bit. We'll be on for a title. But let's go and see if we won anything. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, a chance to win something again we've not taken advantage on, as we do lose against City in the Community Shield. I mean, it's Man City, but it would have been nice to win. Oh boy, 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 boy. Well, it's not going to be a good time in the Carabao Cup, where you're going to be exiting in the 3rd round, this time against Southampton. Oh man, 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 man. We're now into the semi-finals of the FA Cup, and I tell you what, it's more the fact of how many goals there were in the game and the fact that we lost. 9 goals and we lose to Brighton. And I think we could have beaten Newcastle in the final. That is gut-wrenching. Can the Champions League save the day? I've got mixed emotions about this because, to be fair, we've done quite well. I mean, we beat teams like, we beat Madrid. We beat Madrid 2-0. We drew against Juventus and Salzburg, and we lost against Bayer Leverkusen. But it was enough to get us into the round of 16, where we do beat Monaco 7-1. An absolute battering there. We then go and beat PSG 6-3. Again, very, very good result. The semi-final, we do beat Real Madrid 5-4. And we're going to play Bayern in the final. I would have rather Tottenham, but we might have a chance against... Oh, I don't know. Let's go and find out. Right then, the Champions League final, and this is going to be a serious game right now. I've looked at Bayern's team, and it is a very, very decent team, but they've not got Arda Güler. A great finish there inside of 59 seconds. to clarify that. So a great start in this game, going over to around about 2 minutes in now, so not much after at all. Livramento, great direct ball in, and it is going to be Duran into the top left-hand corner, and that is going to be 2-0 inside of technically 3 minutes. After this, Musiala just gets caught slacking. Duran is on the ball inside of 44 minutes, running at the back line inside. It's very lucky, but Tell is going to capitalise, puts it past Noah Atabolu, and we are 3-0 up inside of the first half. And this Champions League, call it now, call it today, we are going to go on and win this Champions League 4-0. Arda Güler, is he going to go alone? He is, and that is going to be the Turkish delight. But that is right, we have won the Champions League before we've won the Premier League. We have ticked off the Champions League, and I tell you what, despite being awful in these English Cups, the Premier League is still decent, and the fact we've won the Champions League, I will tick it off as a great season. Fair play, a great time indeed. Now, in terms of the money, we have got 215 million pounds to go and spend, and I tell you what, in terms of the team now, this team is linking up lovely. Look at the links. Güler, Duran, Tell. By the way, our midfield, Güler, Mainu, Lavia, Simmons, on the bench, Malero, Gray, Ramsey, Lewis Hall, another name down there. We've got Onana. Our midfield is ridiculous. Our strikers are ridiculous. 32 and 14, 34 and 14, 32 and 17. Our wing-backs are on absolute smoke. This team's incredible. And Archie Gray has also had a great season, which I like to see. 3 and 13. It's a pretty good return. I imagine he was playing a mix of right back and also probably box to box. But do you know what? We are now only, 3 seasons in? I'll make sure I'm not making a mistake there. Are we 3 seasons in? We are 3 seasons in, and we have won English Cups, we won a Champions League, and the team is improving season by season. I'd be scared if I was any other team. Looking at this team, though, realistically, we don't really need to improve much more. Now, the idea is to just bring in tons of young talent, but I don't want to compromise too much. So we're going to see what's on the market. We've only got 215 million, so can't really sign anyone, can we? You know what I mean? But let's get into the next window and see what we can do. Yeah, realistically, that's nearly another $250 million. And because of what I said, I'm only going to pick up players that are a clear improvement, and Jarell Hato is a clear improvement. He comes in for 84 million, so we still had like £150 million spare. It's not about spending all the money, just bringing in players you need. And do you know what? He drops an okay average rating, but I know this guy has still got so much more to offer. He's one of the better younger players in the game, and when he's available, I pay whatever I need to pay because he is a fantastic player. But yeah, the only signing of the rebuild, or the rebuild window should I say, realistically, I don't know how much that is going to impact us. All I will say is it is a brand new addition to the back line. Is a sort of defensive improvement going to be enough to win the Prem? I don't know. Let's go and see. Season 4. Well, that might have been the missing piece, because we are going to be your Premier League winners in Season 4, joint on points, and only 1 point Chelsea does trail. Now, in terms of stats, I will say we have got no players in the top goal scorers. We've got 2 players in the average rating, in Morgan Rogers and Destiny Udogie, who I will say is a great, great player who is now finally coming into his own. And looking at this, other than that, we're actually quite quiet. I'm going to be honest, we're quite quiet, so nothing too special to talk about, and if anything, a little bit disappointing. Isn't disappointing, it's going to be another Champions League final appearance, but you know me, I like to chase a bit of perfection. It would have been nice to have 2 Champions League wins back to back, but let's just keep it humble. For Super Cup, another opportunity to win another trophy we have not won before. We're going to lose 3-1 in extra time against United, and don't get me started on these. The FA Cup, we lose in the 5th round against Milton Keynes on penalties. Milton Keynes we lose against. I'm going to say it one more time. Milton Keynes. I can't believe what I'm seeing in that game. And the Carabao Cup against Liverpool, it's fair enough. That game can go either way. But apart from the Premier League, which obviously is massive in itself, there is nothing to show. It was a very, very average season, apart from the Premier League. And I look at that right now, and to be honest with you, it wasn't a dominant season. We won on goal difference. So, you know, we've ticked it off, but I'm going to do one more season to try and win it with a bit more oomph, a little bit more firepower. Have we got money to improve anywhere? We have got money once again. We've got £161 million. But looking at the players, I would imagine less goals right now. And for some reason, yeah, it's a drop-off for everybody. For some reason, a big drop-off. A great season there from Arizo, so that tells me one of these players was definitely injured for a fair bit, because Arizo would not play that many games to get that many goals. Makoko as well, scoring a lot more than the usual, so I reckon it was a season riddled with injury, to be honest with you, but we're not going to be too down in the dumps because we have achieved so much with this team already, and the video's not over. We've still got Season 5 to go, and the aim is to try and win. I'm going to aim is such a big ask, the Premier League, and at least I'll take one or two things, the Premier League and two of these, or the Premier League and a Champions League. I am asking for the world, but sometimes you've got to set the bar high. If that works, that's going to be a cold quote. If not, I'll edit it out. So the first signing is going to be one of the better Wonderkid regens I have seen this year. It's going to be Schmidt. He's going to come in for 45 million. He plays 32 games. When you're sort of knocking your doggy out the team, you know you're doing a great job. And this guy looks mental. Rapid, can put a ball in, decent tackling. He is the complete wingback. He is incredible. And to bolster the midfield even more, why not? We've now got what? Arda Güler, Kobbie Mainoo, Xavi Simons. We've got Archie Gray. We've got Malay. We've got everyone. We've now got Kendry Payers as well. He comes in for a total of 94 million, and oh boy, does he pay back some of the price. I mean, I tell you what, 13 assists, 3 goals for an absolute well-rounded machine. I honestly think with these two players, the left back is nuts, and also this midfield player, he is something special. I will honestly be disappointed if we don't win the Prem, and I mean that with full chest. Luckily, there'll be no Josh Daly disappointment. I will say, make sure you smash a like on the video, because that's another Premier League win. Now, it's not a dominant season as I wanted, but it is going to be a season decided not off goal difference, which is what I wanted in here. Now, in terms of player stats, Duran is going to come in third place with the top goals, which is okay. I will say once again, though, apart from the assist category where Arda Güler and the new man are going to dominate, and our new left back, other than that, we don't really feature too much in the best rating, the most player of the matches, the clean sheets. Now, I've been looking at this as a negative, but or does it just mean that because every player in our team is getting a chance, we've got such a well-built squad, does it mean that no one's getting enough real game time to dominate these stat lines, which isn't a bad thing, apart from Arda Güler, Kendry Payers, and, well, Schmidt, because they're absolutely lethal. And how nice is it, by the way, that we have actually included Duran in the entire video? We've made him a priority, and the guy has returned every single season. So do you know what, Villa fans? Hopefully you have enjoyed it, but we've still got a load more trophies to go over, and the question is, can we win the Champions League again, or 2 English trophies to complete what I wanted? Looking likely we are going to win the FA Cup 2-0 over Leicester, a bit of an easy final, but sometimes you got to take what you can get. Also, I'm going to lift the Community Shield against Middlesbrough. That doesn't include the challenge I was after, but so far, we've looked at 3 competitions, and we have won all 3. Are we going to do the sweep? Well, into the Champions League, round of 16, we are going to absolutely blitz Juventus. Very, very, well, literally a blitzing. 6-0, no other way of wording it, to be honest. The quarterfinals, 5-2 over Inter Milan. The semi-finals, 4-2 over Manchester. We're playing Brighton. We're playing Brighton in the final. I'm going to be honest, if I lose this, I might rage quit the video. Right, well, I tell you what, this final had nothing but pure drama. Inject the drama. Schmidt is going to put a ball inside the box, a great ball in, an awful goalkeeper, and a 1-0 lead inside of 5 minutes. But I tell you what, they then go, literally, and I mean literally about 35 seconds after, Profundi on their team, into Lamptey, who's going to put it inside, into Enciso, and that is going to be 1-1. Pretty short lead for us right there. And do you know what? I was looking at this game and I was like, this can now go any way, really, as any game can. But this game was so open to the point where we actually go out and make it 2-1 inside of 8 minutes. So we've had 3 goals in 8 minutes, and the drama doesn't stop there. Profundi, a ball in the box, we can't get rid of it at all. It's going to be Esteban into Enciso, little cutback into the middle, into Profundi, and he's going to make it 2-2. 4 goals inside of 16 minutes. 16 minutes! We are now going to go all the way to the 70th minute. Xavi Simons, time on the ball inside, dodgy clearance, Payers is going to make it 3-2 inside of the 71st minute. Please, please hold on. And that's exactly what we do. We counter, their goalkeeper's up, and Arizo has all the time in the world. Hit the ball, son, hit the ball. He has hit it, and a great finish. Champions League winners. Meaning we have won the Champions League. That is 4 out of 4. All we need to do is win the Carabao Cup to win everything. And we don't. We lose 1-0 against Manchester United. And I tell you what, I would be annoyed, but the fact we have won the Prem, the Champions League, the FA Cup, the Community Shield, all in one season. And I tell you what, this team, oh my days, this team is absolutely remarkable. What is going on here? What's going on? Okay, we've got the under-21s out. I was very worried then. This team right now is absolutely mental. The team I've left you with is packed full of top talent. Now, I will say, in terms of money as well, you are going to have a budget of 123 million. So if you are interested in carrying on this rebuild, and I'm genuinely saying this, if you like Wonderkids, you do want to go and grab this one. It's going to be on the Patreon with my tactic as well. By the way, you don't just get this one, you get all of my rebuilds, all of my tactics, big monthly giveaways, access to tons of exclusive perks, and one-on-one tactical help as well. Genuinely, this is a monstrous rebuild. I am so happy with how it's gone. We've taken a team which obviously are already a good team, but look at the upward arrow. We are basically through the roof right now. What a team, by the way. I mean, I can't get over it. The financial value, just the talent we've got in the team. Our oldest player is what, 28. That's still not exactly old. You can still have 3-4 years with him, and then it drops down really to 26, and we've achieved so much with this team. It's absolutely beautiful. Hopefully you have enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Once again, leave a comment what you want to see next, and I'll see you in the next one.